Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Oh, Miss Blue, dead gone. Left me head
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's presentation of the NobleMotorsport.com Powertek Power Solution Nationwide Series finale at Homestead Miami Speedway. Tonight I'm in a booth with Ian Adams as usual, and I'm also pushing the buttons. Tonight we're going to bring you 110 laps here at Miami Homestead Speedway, and looking to be an exciting one for it being the finale.
Yeah, Carl, our points leader Dylan Brockwell comes into tonight with a sizable points lead, but the battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth is close. Have to keep an eye on who can come out on the track tonight and get the good finishes, get some good points, and maybe move up or down a few positions. As of right now, it looks like our front row will be Dylan Brockwell and Dylan Lee, but that is subject to change because we are not quite through qualifying yet. We'll update you on the grid when we get through that, Carl. Looking at a fun race tonight, but it's definitely going to be an interesting one here at Homestead. Tricky track to get around, and but you can use almost any line to make a pass.
Yeah, it's a fairly interesting track here. We ran it here in the trucks last week for our finale, and pretty much in 1 and 2, the high line was actually the best line. But I think that was more due to the weather. Had a lot of winds there. Tonight the winds are fairly calm, and these cars actually handle a lot different from the trucks. So I foresee racing all over this place, and a lot of battles.
We're going to take a quick look here at our point standings coming into the season finale. Carl, I believe you have those.
Yeah, Ian. We haven't updated everybody here lately on these things, but we'll go ahead and do it tonight since this is the finale. Coming in here tonight, Brockwell. Pretty much all he had to really do was start the race tonight, and he has clinched the championship. Like you were saying, it's actually a pretty tight battle for second between Roberts, Nile, and Meddling. And you got Dylan Lee sitting in fifth. Last week, Meddling put his name in the contention for second place with coming home second behind Brockwell. Longtime series driver Jay Adair, he's made his way back into the series. And then you had finishing third last week. Then you had Dave Camara finishing fourth, and William Long bringing home fifth last week. So, the points battle did get shuffled up a little bit as far as who who's going to come in second. That's pretty much the races for tonight. Dylan's pretty much got the points locked up, so everybody's fighting to get that second place and get the second and third because those are the two other prize-paying positions in the point.
And tonight we will be keeping an eye on those battles as well as the battle on track to see who gets the victory tonight. We said it is the season finale here for the Powertek Power Solutions Nationwide Series. Noble, we are at the Homestead Miami Speedway.
Well,
We're going to send you down trackside real quick here, actually. Get our national anthem out of the way. When we come back, we'll run you through the grid, update you, try and get through the track facts if we got time. If not, we'll update you on that during the first caution. Right now, though, going trackside, national anthem opening ceremonies. We'll come back and get everybody lined up.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Crank 'em up. Fired up. I like bud. Fired up. Fired up. Crank it up. Crank it up. Fired up. We have a good time today. Keep your eyes out up there, Dylan.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Noble Network One broadcast of the season finale here at Homestead Miami Speedway for the Powertek Power Solution Nationwide Series. Once again, I am Carl Brown in the booth tonight with Ian Adams. Ian, it looks like they're starting to grid. Let's go ahead and run them through the starting order right quick.
And Carl, as we look at our front row tonight on the pole, yet again in that number 20 Sandbass Gallery's car, it is Dylan Brockwell with a 32.032. And it is outside. In the number 5 Competition Diecast Chevrolet, it's Dylan Lee.
In row 2, you got Brian Terry in the 92 Coca-Cola Wiley X eyewear Chevy. alongside him is Mike Arnn in the 70 U.S. Army Chevrolet.
Starting fifth in the number 51, William Roberts in the NASCAR Hall of Fame Chevy, and to his outside, the number 73, Sean Medling in the Noble Network 1 Breast Cancer Awareness car. Starting behind him in the number 70, or starting the next row back on the inside, it'll be the number 75 of Ronald Henry, and to his outside, the 29 of Ben Nile. Stefan Brunel in the number 79 will roll off 9th. James Ross in 10th in the number 14 Powertek Power Solutions Chevrolet. 11th will be David Camara in the number 72. To his outside, Jay Adair in the 27 rolls off 12th. 13th on the grid will be the number 12 of Ross Cato, and to his outside, the number 14, Andy Kessler in the Noble Network 1 Noble Radio car. In 15th, the number 61, Wyatt Wolf. And that will round out our field for tonight as we look back to the front here. Dylan Brockwell leads them around. Final race of the season here in the Powertek Power Solutions Nationwide Series. The Dylans lead them down. Seems like it was the beginning of the season when we had this all over again, but end of the season now. Dylan Brockwell, Dylan Lee on the front row. Pace car is off, waiting on Brockwell.
Green.
Green flag in the air. We are rolling at Homestead.
Backing off, Jay.
Side by side for second now into turn number 1. Brockwell able to clear Lee. Now it's Lee and Brian Terry. Terry gets a little bit loose. He's going to fall back. Lee's going to clear him. Now it's a battle for third. Brian Terry and William Roberts. Roberts around the outside. He's going to get clear, and it's just a mess behind him as the pack roars off into turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, it looked like Terry going into turn 1 got a little bit loose, and that's what caused him to start falling back in the clutches. And there's 3 wide back there with Medling, Arnn, and Nile.
Yeah, they sorted that out real quick because I don't think Medling had the room to get in there. He actually bumped off the back of the number 70 car. He was almost looking to the inside there. Now Camara's going to come to the inside of him. Medling able to get clear of him, goes to the inside of Mike Arnn. The 73 to the bottom. Who's going to be able to make that work now? He's going to clear the 70. Can he make it stick? 72 Camara, 70 Mike Arnn there side by side. Battle for the fourth position between Brian Terry and Ben Nile. Nile able to make the pass to the inside. The battle for the lead.
Yeah, Dylan Lee's already passed
by. Which makes it a battle for second between William Roberts and Dylan Brockwell. Now they will sort that out. The front 3 still battling close as Roberts trying to get right up to the back bumper of Brockwell off the corner. The front 3 nose to tail down the front straightaway. Off into turn number 1. The number 20 and the number 51, they're battling for second. Lee's going to go tight. Here comes Brockwell, and Roberts is going to look to the inside of him. Looking at 3 wide down the back straightaway. Roberts backs out. Now it's Brockwell and Lee for the lead. Off into turns 3 and 4. Dylan Lee on the high side. He's been able to make that work tonight. Brockwell to the bottom, though. He's been quick down there. Can he make that thing work off the corner? Drives it up off. Who's it going to be coming to the line? It's going to be Brockwell at the line, leads it. Now Roberts following the 20. Lee still stuck up on the outside. He's able to drive it in a little bit deeper, but it goes tight. He wiggled a little bit too. Now he's going to fall back to second. Roberts looking to the inside. Can he make that thing work to get by Lee? And looking right behind them, here comes the number 29. It's Ben Nile closing in behind. He's been looking for a repeat here in the Nationwide Series, trying to get a win, but is now Lee and Roberts go side by side down the front straightaway, still for second place. Only up on that outside line, not giving up too easily, Carl.
No, he's not. Like we said in the opening, this track here has got a lot of racing room and a lot of racing grooves, and it looks like Dylan Lee's found that outside pretty good and is liking it up there. He was able to hold off Roberts, which didn't just got passed by Nile on the outside. So it's going to be some exciting racing if it continues like this the whole race.
At the moment, 6 laps into this race, they've all sorted out more or less. Stefan Brunel and James Ross battling for 10th position at the moment. There's now a couple cars in front of them. It looks like Camara and Medling still battling. Looking back to the front though, Niall and Roberts still nose to tail down the back straightaway. Niall, it looked like he was getting pushed by Roberts, heading for 3. He's going to look to the inside of Lee. Niall's going to get a little loose. Roberts to the inside of him. They're side by side for 3rd now. Ben Niall on the outside. William Roberts on the inside. Dylan Lee pulling Niall around with that draft. And that draft does play a huge factor down the straightaways here. Not as big as Daytona or Talladega, but it definitely can help you make a pass if you're in the right line. And off of turn number 2, looks like they're going to sort it all out again as out front. Your championship leader, Dylan Brockwell, dominated this series all year, and now he's out by over half a second. Opening up that lead now, battle for second. Dylan Lee, Ben Niall side by side down the front straightaway. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Leo holds second for the lap. Question is he going to be able to make it work for this lap? Off into turns 1 and 2. This has been his weakness. Side by side through this corner now. William Roberts looking to make it 3 wide off the corner. Can't make it. Can't quite get there. Maybe just thought a little better of it and backed off. He's going to drop in behind Lee now. Still a tight battle here at the front as Roberts now looking up the middle. Roberts is going to make it 3 wide. Not quite. He backs out. Looking to the inside. Roberts has the quicker car here, and he knows that he wants to go. Now Brian Terry's caught up to these two. We're still battling side by side. Brockwell has opened up almost a second lead now.
Yeah, Brockwell's up there. Yeah, Brockwell's up there smiling right now. You know, seeing these guys battle side by side. You know, the draft plays a big part here. You know, you get a run off of a guy and.
Not to interrupt you there, Carl, but the Dylan Lee and Ben Niall made contact there into turn 3, and it got Niall loose. He was able to save it. But not sure if Dylan's just not happy about the way he raced in there, or if they just he drove it in a little deeper. What happened there? But Niall able to save it. They straighten it back out. Up and now side by side for second place again. And like you said, Brockwell is loving this. These guys get side by side. It slows them down. Now Lee's going to clear Niall, but not quite. 3 wide into turn number 3. Roberts on the bottom. Lee was in the middle, but he's going to be able to clear Roberts on the outside now. Lee on the bottom trying to get around Niall, and it's a pack here starting to form. Ben Niall, Dylan Lee, William Roberts, Brian Terry. Battle for second. Still the main focus in this pack, though, as the 5 and the 29 duke it out.
Yeah, with these guys running side by side, is bringing the rest of the pack up there closer together. You know, like we're saying, the draft plays a big role at this track here, but it also makes you think that you're faster than the guys in front of you, simply because of that getting that draft. Once you pull out from underneath them, you hit that block of that wall of air, and your car just seems like it doesn't want to go anywhere.
Ooh, and Dylan got loose down there on the bottom now. Niall moved to second, and Roberts looking to the inside. Caution on the track. 70 car, Mike Arnn around on the front straightaway. Off into turn number 1 to see what happened with him there. But looks like coming off a 3. Him and Camara touched and turned him into the outside wall. Looks like he was able to keep it off of everybody else. Ooh, may have clipped Burnell there. I think Burnell might have got a piece of it, but was able to save it. Whew, no, Burnell barely missed him. Lost it a little bit, was able to gather it back up, so. Good racing for 13 laps now as we line them up under caution, and it appears that while we were focusing on that battle for second, Dylan Brockwell might have gotten the wall. Looks like a little bit of right front damage on that car. At the moment, we are going to send you off to commercial break. Update you on what happened on the under pit stops here. When we get back, you are watching the Powertek Power Solutions Nationwide Series presented by Noble Network 1.
I felt it all at the hall, where it's a cool 33 degrees.
We experienced it all at the hall, where my son became the fastest man ever.
I relived it all at the hall, where my grandson asked me, "Did you really do all that?"
Experience high-octane fun during NASCAR Hall of Fame's Cure for the Common Summer, presented by Coca-Cola.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on, automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac and never feel powerless.
Does a real race car have a center post? Of course not, and neither should your race rig. The R-Seat Evo V3 with its unique design has no center post. The R-Seat Evo replicates what you would be accustomed to in your daily driver or something you may take to the track. It can accommodate drivers from 4'11" up to over 6'6" tall and is pre-drilled for all of the major wheel manufacturers on the market today. When it comes to performance, look no further than the RC Evo V3. Check out the RC Evo and other sim racing equipment by heading to www.rc.net.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Noble Network One presentation of the Powertek Power Solutions Nationwide Series here at Homestead Miami Speedway. We are back, just getting ready to come back from caution here. Looked like everybody come down and got their pit stops done. Wyatt Wolf stayed out to lead a lap, and he actually went down afterwards. But coming out of the pits, you got Dylan Brockwell, Dylan Lee, Ben Nile, William Roberts, and Brian Terry is your top five after those pit stops.
And Carl, over those first 13 laps before the caution, we saw a lot of good action between the leaders. But one car, as per normal, we've seen break out from this pack and drive away. Number 20 car, Dylan Brockwell, your points leader, has been doing it all season. He seems to get caught up in the battles a little bit over the first few laps, and then as soon as he gets a break, and the guys behind him get side by side, he just checks out and drives away. It's been about how he's won this points championship, that and all the wins he's racked up this season. Looking at another one tonight, but he's got some stout competition right behind him there. Dylan Lee, number 5, looking good tonight. Not been the story for his season. It's been kind of up and down. Ben Nile also been a contender all season. William Roberts showing up in the late end, as well as Brian Terry. So we'll have to see which one of these guys behind him, if any of them, can give him a run tonight and maybe take the win away.
Well, it's hard to take it's hard to take the win away from Dylan out here, especially when you got Dave Washington steadily in your ear, coaching you around this track. He's had that advantage all year long. Be honest with you, I think anybody, if they had Dave Washington in their ear, could actually do pretty good, because Dave's actually one heck of a coach. I've listened to him, talked to him during some truck races and everything else, and it's just amazing on the teaching of Dave Washington on and how he just keeps you calm while you're racing. You start getting frustrated, and he'll get you calm back down in a second. So props to Dylan Brockwell for getting hooked up with Dave this year, and you can see its performance has gone up from there, and it looks like the lights are off on the pace car. Looks like we're getting ready to go back to green.
As we stack them up 2 by 2 here, coming through 3 and 4. Dylan Brockwell, Dylan Lee will lead them down yet again. Ben Nile has moved up to 3rd now this time. William Roberts will be behind him. Then Terry, Adair, Medling, Brunel, Cato, Kessler. So we get ready. Brockwell's gone. Lee's going to fall into 2nd, but he's going to have Nile breathing down his neck. Green flag in the air. Off into turn number 1 now. Brockwell able to get clear. Nile and Lee side by side for 2nd. Off the corner. Lee gets loose. Nile's around. Big wreck in turn 1. Still wrecking coming off the corner. Oh, few cars involved there. Cato involved. Lee, Ben Nile, a few others involved as well. William Roberts in that 51, and Carl, seems like the Noble Network 1 curse is back. We talk about guys that may have a chance of beating Brockwell, and they go into turn 1, and I think every single one of them I talked about got involved in that.
Yeah, it's characteristics of this track going into turn 1. You got the fresh tires on that car, and it actually gives you added security, going in there that you don't normally have, and it just causes you to do some stuff like that. And we've seen it in the truck race. I was actually leading, and I spun out coming off of turn 2. Just simple fact is that turn is tricky coming off.
And looking at it here, it looks like exactly what you said there, Carl. Dylan just drove off into 1, had that sense of security that it was going to stick, and it got a little loose on him. And then as everybody came with the track, they all just kind of piled in. Cato, one of the late ones into it, as he just kind of T-boned Dylan. Everybody else able to check up and get through. I think the big winner out of that whole thing was actually Sean Medling, who will roll now. Didn't get any contact, so see, he's kind of parted. We'll re-rack the top 5 here real quick. From what we're seeing, this is before anybody's come down for pit stops for repairs or anything, but Dylan Brockwell will be still your leader, then Sean Medling in second. Now Stefan Burnell moves up to 3rd, Mike Arnn in 4th, Brian Terry's on pit road in 5th, and just about everybody else behind him came down, either just to top off on fuel or to maybe get a couple more tires. If they only took 2 into the last pit stop, which I don't see why they would have. But right now, looking at it, it looks like a few guys are going to be on pit road for a while getting repairs. We'll check up on them. Well, we are going to send it over to Carl real quick because we didn't get to our track facts in the pre-race. So, Carl, what you got for us?
Well, it's a 1.5 mile true oval here. It's not the normal cookie cutter that we're used to seeing with Atlanta, Texas, and Kansas and so forth. And it's like with a lot of these other tracks now. It's got the progressive banking in there. It's got 18 to 20 degrees progressive banking, and pretty much coming in here, Brockwell has actually pretty much clinched the championship. All he really needed to do was start tonight's race, and he's actually doing it in fashion. We've seen Trevor Smith last week in the trucks win the championship and win the race. So maybe he's trying to copy his counterpart over there in the truck series, Trevor Smith. We do have a little bit of words of wisdom tonight. 4 tires is going to be key. You try the 2 tires, and you're just going to be loose in these turns. And words of wisdom to Brockwell is just he just needs to sit back and enjoy the ride. That's pretty much all he's got to do. He's out front leading, so I guess he's enjoying it pretty good.
I believe if that's the mantra for tonight, sit back, enjoy the ride while you're leading. I believe Dylan Brockwell's been enjoying the ride this whole season. At this point, like we said, he's pretty much clinched it, but we're not going to say for sure because you never know what could happen at this point. But looking at it here, we are looking at it here. It did take a lot of contenders out of this thing, though. Roberts was involved, as was Brian Terry, Dylan Lee, Ben Nile also involved. Plenty of cars involved in that, and just not what you want to see here early on in a race. Only 20 laps into this 110 lap event.
No, it's not. But one thing I am noticing that there's a few more cars ducking down on pit road to get a little bit more service done. But I'm noticing, look who's sitting in 4th right now.
Sitting in 4th in that Noble Network 1 Noble Radio car. Breast cancer awareness cars this month. Andrew Kessler making a run at things tonight. Hasn't been, for the races he has run, hasn't been the best showing, but he's sitting 4th at the moment.
Well, last week he did bring home a top 10, Ian. So maybe his skills starting to pick up. He did finish 9th in the truck points and got top 10 last week here in Nationwide, and so maybe this is things to come for Andy, sitting in 4th right now. That's you gotta give major props to Andy there, though.
Definitely Andy running 4th. We'll have to keep an eye on it here, and if he moves forward, then we'll let you know. But right now, off into turns 3 and 4, it's going to be Medling and Brockwell to lead them down this time. Brockwell still selects the inside lane. Stefan Burnell, Kessler behind them, then Camara, Wyatt Wolf, Ross Cato, and then Mike Arnn as we look back here towards the front now. Pace car is in, waiting on Brockwell. He takes it again.
Green flag.
Gets that jump on Medling. Burnell falls in. Ooh, Kessler, bad restart as he's going to lose a couple spots here. There goes the 72 Camara, and the 12 of Ross Cato are going to slip by. Off into one though, we're going to keep an eye up near the front. Can Medling now, as they've settled down here, straightened everything out. Can Medling make a run up there and get back after Brockwell? There's a lot of cars around after that wreck, Carl, but looking at it here, the only ones that we really have out, looks like Jay Adair's pulled behind the wall, 19 involved. Ben Nile with a lot of damage as well still, and as is Brian Terry, both of them a lap down, but everybody else has come in. Cars look fairly clean and running well. Dylan Lee back up to 8th already. Still on the lead lap. He might not be done tonight. Might just need to get a couple cautions to get some repairs done, and might be good. So we might see a couple of those names back up in the front before the end of the night, but right now it's the battle for second that we're keeping an eye on. Camara looking to the inside of Stefan Burnell. Camara, all season this year, it seems like if he qualifies near the front, he's been doing well, but it seems like...
Yeah, Camara, he's been there all season. You know, haven't really caught him too much this season, but he's quietly been there, you know, constantly finishing races. He's actually been doing a pretty good job.
Seems like at this point in the season, the only time we've really been talking about Dave Camara is, like I said, if he's qualified through the front. Seems like it's either pole or further back or mid-pack for Camara at this point. I think I've called him out second or third this season, but as we look behind them, it is a pack right around 6th position. Andy Kessler on the inside, battling with Cato for 5th. Dylan Lee in that mix as he's side by side with Wyatt Wolf right behind him. That is just going to get dicey off into the corner. Lee, he moved up. Now Andy's loose. Dylan nowhere to go. It's stacking everybody up. Arnn goes to the outside of Lee now. Battle between Wolf and Kessler there. Wolf's going to get around Andy. Andy's going to fall back to 7th. Now side by side for 8th. Mike Arnn, Dylan Lee. They battle. Lee's going to be able to clear him just maybe here. Not quite. Arnn's going to wind that momentum up. Take that car back to the outside. Roberts is going to follow him. Roberts still in this race as they look towards the back here. Still the battle for 8th. Now Dylan Lee, Mike Arnn, William Roberts involved in that. William Roberts is going to go 3 wide. In the middle. Roberts up the middle. He's going to back out of it. Now it's going to be him and Lee battling for the... They got close there. That could have been really bad, Carl.
Yeah, they've... you know, they're racing like it's the last 10 laps here, and we're still only on lap 28. You know, I think that's one of the reasons why we had that big wreck just a few laps ago, is everybody's just trying to race too hard. You know, to be honest with you, there's 110 laps. They actually really need to calm down a little bit and save their equipment, because, you know, there's a lot of good cars that get beat up that last caution, and they just calm down a little bit. Maybe we can get some good green flag racing in here.
Seems to be the pattern this season. Other than last week at Chicagoland, it was nothing but green flag last week, flag to flag. But right now, it seems like we're battling a bit. They go side by side. Andy Kessler, Mike Arnn battling for 8th or for 7th position now. At the line, it was still Kessler, but not by much. This time, it's going to be Arnn on the bottom. He's going to make the move now. Kessler slides up. Here comes Lee. Dylan Lee to the bottom now. Can he make a move on Kessler? Not going to quite be there, but Mike Arnn's looking at Cato. The 12 and the 70 side by side off into the corner for 6th position.
Well, just a few laps ago, Ian, while we were calling, you know, Arnn and Lee fighting, Wyatt Wolf got around got around Cato, and he's actually drove off from this pack, and he's actually catching up with the leaders.
We caught that back draft, or the back of the just some whiskers that drafted off of Cornell's car, and it might be pulling him forward. He has moved up into the top 5. Arn now has gotten past Cato, as has Lee and Kessler, as they battle. Cato's actually dropped big time, and he sits back there in he sits back behind that whole little group there. Fell all the way back from 7th last lap to 11th this lap, and not sure what happened, if he just got freight trained or what. But now here's the battle.
If you remember, if you remember, Ian, underneath that caution, he did T-bone Dylan Lee right there at the very end. So that front end damage might be starting to come and haunt him a little bit.
Off the corner now, James Ross got a little loose. Here comes Cato now to the outside. He's trying to make a move. They've all kind of straightened it out at this point. The leaders all stretching out. Brockwell now out to just over half a second lead over Medley. Then Camara, Stefan Brunel, Wyatt Wolf, Mike Arnn, Lee, William Roberts, Andy Kessler, and James Ross battling now, as well as Ronald Henry and Ross Cato to round out the lead lap now, as Henry's going to slip around Cato down the front straightaway for 11th position. It's going to be, looks like it's going to be Ronald Henry and Andy Kessler off into 1, battling for 10th. Then James Ross in 9th. Right in front of those two, if Kessler can get to him, maybe get side by side, get a little battle going there. Might be able to hold off Henry a little bit longer.
Well, Ian, one of the things I've also been noticing, I've been watching up here front a little bit too. You know, Dylan Brockwell, before that last chain of cautions we had, he was just pulling off and just leaving Niall and Dylan Lee and all. And Medling's actually been keeping it a lot closer than what the other guys were, and he actually started in the back of the pack. And maybe he might be a dark horse today to actually come up there and win this thing.
Well, there's that. That is one thing we could be watching, Carl. But what I'm seeing here is Medling not having to deal with the other guys here that were side by side when they were battling behind Brockwell before. So maybe that choice of line and being able to run where he wants is giving him a little bit more speed. But Brockwell's still able to open that lead up to just over a second now. Everybody seems to have straightened it out more or less, kind of lined up and just relaxing and cruising here as we hit 37 laps. A little bit of battle here for 9th position, for 8th between James Ross and William Roberts.
James Ross, our series sponsor, he's actually had a fairly decent year this year. Been pretty quiet. He did have that win though at Watkins Glen, so that is a plus for him so far this season. He does have a win underneath his belt, and maybe he can quietly work his way up and get him a top 5 today.
And that win at Watkins Glen was an impressive one for James Ross. Look here, up to 7th, just a quick update. Dylan Lee moving back forward again after that accident, or after the wreck there a few laps in, so we'll have to keep an eye on him throughout the night as
Well, looking back a little bit farther in the pack, The front is pretty much has been quiet all night since that last wreck. But coming back here and a little bit farther in the pack, looks like Ronald Henry and William Roberts is starting to battle pretty good, as Henry has gotten around Roberts and now he sets the sights on James Ross. Well, while we have a little bit of a break in action, let's go ahead and thank some of our sponsors. We got NASCAR Hall of Fame. You can experience it all at the hall. Also, Powertek Power Solutions, serving Connecticut, parts of New York and New Jersey, along with RC.net, where you can get all your sim racing equipment needs that you would need. And looks like we're actually starting to have a battle heat up again with James Ross and Ronald Henry. Well, while the racing has settled down a little bit, let's take one quick moment to pay the bills and go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back here in a minute. You are watching the Powertek Power Solutions nationwide season finale at Homestead, Miami, live on No Bull Network 1.
Hey race fans, it's Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99 Aflac Ford Fusion with your eye safety tip of the week. Did you know that 90% of eye injuries can be avoided simply by wearing the proper ANSI approved eyewear? More than 1 million Americans have lost some degree of sight due to eye injury. That's a risk that I'm just not willing to take. Go to wileyx.com to find a dealer near you and to learn more about the first premium performance sunglass company whose entire product line meets occupational safety standards. That's wileyx.com. Wiley X. Safety never looks so good.
Does a real race car have a center post? Of course not, and neither should your race rig. The R-Seat Evo V3 with its unique design has no center post. The R-Seat Evo replicates what you would be accustomed to in your daily driver or something you may take to the track. It can accommodate drivers from 4'11" up to over 6'6" tall and is pre-drilled for all of the major wheel manufacturers on the market today. When it comes to performance, look no further than the R-Seat Evo V3. Check out the R-Seat Evo and other sim racing equipment by heading to www.rseat.net.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Bull Network 1 presentation of the Powertek Power Solution Nationwide Series finale here at Miami Homestead Speedway. Been trying to get Ian Adams back in the booth. He stepped out for a minute. This is his first trip down here, and he's been wowed over all this Cuban food here in this area. So he's been at the buffet stuffing his face, and hopefully I can get him back here in the booth here in a minute. But while we were away, nothing really changed on the track. You just had there was one change for position. You had White Wolf did catch Stephen Brunel and pass him for fourth. And since then they've both been battling with each other. Brunel trying to get that fourth place back. And well, look here, Mr. Adams finally decided to join me back in the booth, Ian.
Here's something about you saying I'm stuffing my face out there, Carl.
Yeah, you didn't even bring me back a plate. How dare you? Come on now.
I got one on order. You're bringing it up. We look at the racing back. If we look at the action back on the track, see why Wolf did get around Stephen Brunel, but Brunel is battling back, looking on that inside line. Maybe he can get the nose in here. To the inside comes Brunel. Can he make a move now to get back up into that fourth position?
Well, watching Brunel all season long, he's really done pretty good at these mile-and-a-half tracks, and he's kept his car clean so far this race. And and is keeping pace with Wolf. You know, under that last caution, he stayed out, where Wolf, he went down and got 4 fresh tires on it, and you could tell that the tires were working pretty good with Wolf there for a little bit because he was able to run down Brunel, but it looks like they've pretty much stabilized now, and him and Brunel is just staying right there to close together. Alright, looks like Brunel's got his nose back underneath Wolf here, coming out of 2. Can he clear him down the back straightaway? It looks like Wolf's going to have that run high off the outside, and he's going to be able to maintain the spot, but Brunel's going to drive it back underneath him again in 3 and 4. If he can get the run off of it, maybe he can try to pass him and get the advantage going into 1, but no, Wolf on the outside, keep that momentum up, was able to stay ahead of Brunel.
Back a little further here, Carl battle for looking back a little bit further in the pack here, had a 3-car battle for the 7th position between James Ross, Dylan Lee, and William Roberts. They've since sorted it out in the opposite order of the way I just called them. Ross sits 7th now, Dylan Lee 8th, William Roberts 9th. As we run here, completing 51 of 110, closing in on halfway. Your leader still out front, Dylan Brockwell, should be closing in on green flag pit stops here, Carl. One of the things we didn't mention in the track facts about this track is the pit road entrance, if you're coming in under green, is back on the back straightaway. Got to come in and hit that safety road. And on the bottom of the track, take it all the way around, does make for a lengthy pit road time. Coming on and off doesn't really affect the stop that much, other than just getting on and off pit road, because when you come out you also have to ride around to the back straightaway on that safety road through 1 and 2. So could see maybe somebody miss that and get the blank flag for an unsafe pit entrance if it just slips their mind. If not, and everybody gets down there good, we should see some interesting pit strategy maybe play out down here on pit road.
Well, I don't really know if too many people actually will end up missing it coming on there. But the real trick of it is once you are on that pit road access right down there, you're having all the debris and everything coming off the track onto those access roads. And it does make it really slick, especially after you exit the pits. You know, you have all that rubber buildup, and it starts getting on the tires real early, and it does make it slippery. And it looks like Brunel is going to be the first one to hit pit road.
Brings that car down there. Now the question is, as we said, he enters on the back straightaway here down through 3 and 4. The question is, can he keep it stuck as he brings it around here back behind him? I saw a couple of cars bringing it down. James Ross, Dylan Lee also following him in. And ooh, Lee hard on the brakes. Looked like he got it slowed down in time.
Well, Ian, while you're watching them, I'm watching up close to the front. You have David Camara, which has now caught Sean Meddling, and is actually running Meddling down. And our leader is on pit road.
The number 20, Dylan Brockwell, bringing that Sam Bass Gallery car down. Looking for his pit box. What's the strategy going to be here? That excruciatingly slow 45 miles an hour down there as he's going to hit that first box of the pole sitter. First box on pit road. It's an advantage under caution. It's an advantage under green. Right side goes up. Is it going to be just a 2-tire stop? Are they going to put 4 on it? 4 tires. They're going to pack it full of fuel. They're going to send it back out. There goes Brockwell down and away.
Yeah, we got Meddling coming down right now, and Camara, he stayed out to actually get the lap led, but we got Meddling coming down pit road right now. And we have Terry and Niall getting in together.
That could have been a caution right there, and that would have been disastrous for Dylan Brockwell. But as it ran, Niall able to save that thing somehow. He just went straight up to Brian Terry's door. Not sure exactly what happened, but that was a good job by both of those guys to keep those things straight and not get anybody else involved. We look here now, we'll wait for these guys to cycle back through as Camara comes down pit road, as well as Andy Kessler and Ross Cato on pit road, as Medling now heading back out.
Yeah, and after these pit stops and all, it looks like staying out ain't really that good of an idea, because if you can tell, as you notice, Brockwell, his advantage over Medling since the pit stop is just tremendously grown. He went in with about a 3-second lead, and now I believe after the pit stops it's going to grow to over 6 or 7 seconds.
Looking at it now, like Wyatt Wolf came down, Ronald Henry stayed out, he's coming in now. All these guys leading the lap, getting the points that they can. Maybe trying to close in on Brockwell, but he's, as we said, wrapped this championship up just by starting tonight. Like I said, battles for second and third.
Well, Ian, we've actually passed halfway, and pretty much Brockwell has clinched the championship by at least making it halfway tonight. So I think it's safe to say we can go ahead and crown him as your nationwide champion for this year.
We'd like to congratulate Dylan Brockwell on that, see if maybe he can't get yet another win here tonight. Either way, we're going to be talking to him after the race. So right now, as they cycle through the pit stops, as Henry was the last car on pit road, as he comes out now, Brockwell should cycle back to the lead. And looking at it here, he is going to have something like 7 or 8 seconds on Medling there. So 4-second gain on pit road there for that number 20 Dylan Brockwell. Not a bad stop at all.
Well, like I said earlier, it helps when you have Dave Washington in your ear, coaching you down pit road and keeping you calm so you're not overdriving again on pits. He's actually had a great advantage all year long hitting pit road, that we've seen times where he would be a second behind the leader and come out of pits, be the leader with a 2-3 second lead over the leader, when he came in second on these green flag pit stops.
Car I want to talk about real quick is car I've been kind of mentioning all night. Moving up yet again, even after that wreck. Dylan Lee comes down pit road in 8th, will come out 5th. So a good pit stop for him as well. Medling, Camara, Roberts stay in. William Roberts moved up a bit too, as he was back there battling with Ross and them for right around 10th. So he moved up to 4th.
Well, the pit stops are cycled all the way through, so let's go ahead and give them a Sam Bass top 5 right now as we run.
If we look at it here, it's going to be Dylan Brockwell out front, your champion for this year. As we just crowned him, and he basically crowned himself just by winning so many races this season. Sean Medling following him in that number 73 Noble Network 1 car, looking to maybe knock the king off the throne for at least tonight and get that win. 72 Dave Camara sits 3rd now, closing in on Medling. He's had a good run he's had good runs all season, hasn't been able to put that thing in victory lane yet. William Roberts in the 51 in that NASCAR Hall of Fame Chevrolet, having a good run tonight even after the wreck. And Dylan Lee in the competition diecast Chevrolet sits in 5th position in that number 5 car. Kind of had a roller coaster season, been up and down, but looks like these last few races he's been able to shape it up a little bit, get some good runs in. So we'll have to see if he can't maybe pull out something good tonight.
Well, Ian, I'm looking back here further in the pack, and you got a whole gaggle of cars together since that pit stop. You had James Ross, he's sitting in 6th, and he's got Stephanie Burnell 7th right on his bumper, followed by Wyatt Wolf, Ronald Henry, and Mike Arnn. These 5 cars, you can throw a blanket over them since this last pit stop. It looks like some people might have had a little bit of issue getting on and off of pit road there. Like I was saying before about the getting on these access roads, you have all the debris that washes down off the track onto these access roads, and just makes everything extremely slick. And looks like it bit a few people, especially Wyatt Wolf and Stephane Brunel, because they were battling for 4th and 5th when they hit the pit road, and now they're back there trying to just battle to get 6th back from James Ross. And as we're going down the backstretch, Brunel gets a run down on the inside, and he's going to try to pass Ross. It looks like he's got him cleared, and he's going to wash up, but no. Ross battled back on the outside with that momentum. It looks like he's going to go ahead and have him cleared going down the front stretch as he does. Now Wyatt Wolf is going to try to swing to the outside of Brunel and get a run. Brunel tries to stick his nose back in there again on Ross, but wasn't able to get underneath there. And here comes Wolf battling back on Brunel, trying to get a run on him to get that 7th spot away from Brunel.
Nowhere to go for Wolf, and he had to check up yet again. Now Ronald Henry behind him, but here comes Brunel. Ross, they are going to touch. Ross moved up the track, and here comes Wolf. He's going to have to check Mike Arnn all the way to the bottom. He's going to be the one to take advantage there. He's going to get past the 61 now, setting his sights on that number 14, looks to the inside. It's Wolf all the way to the outside line there. Not sure what happened. Arnn able to get clear, maybe got a bump from Ross. Up off the corner now, James Ross. Huge battle here is now Ronald Henry to the inside of Wyatt Wolf. A lot of action to call in this little pack after these, after we cycle through the pit stops here as we look at the battle for 7th place between Arnn and Ross. Ross on the inside, Mike Arnn on the outside. At the line that time, it's going to be Mike Arnn holding the 7th position. James Ross falls in behind him. Ronald Henry now trying to poke his nose into that battle. Wyatt Wolf right on Henry's bumper.
Let's go up a little bit higher up front. Dylan Lee has now caught William Roberts and is going to try to battle him to get that 4th spot away from William Roberts. Both of them involved in that accident, 3rd caution of the race, and 2nd caution of the race, and they're both battling back pretty good. William Roberts up to 4th and Lee up to 5th, but now Lee, looks like they got the car repaired pretty good, and he's getting one heck of a run on William Roberts.
Down the back straightaway, that number 5 car is definitely back in form, if maybe not scraped up and beaten on the left side there. I don't think that's going to deter him at all as he comes off of this corner now, closing on Roberts even more. Got the draft now. He is there on the back bumper, looking to the inside into 1. Can Lee make it stick? All the way to that white line. Now they're side by side. Dylan Lee with the momentum. He's going to drift up. Had to maybe blip the throttle, but he's going to carry it now. Roberts down on the outside lane. He's got the advantage going into the corner here. Lee all the way to the bottom. Roberts running high in the middle. Can Lee clear him here? Lee all the way to the bottom off the corner. It's going to be a battle to the line. Lee will get him that lap. Can he clear him here in 1 and 2? Looks like he's going to be able to. Dylan Lee up to 4th position now. William Roberts in 5th. As we look right ahead of these two here that were just battling it out for the 4th position here, Camara and Medling. They've closed up on each other as they sit about half a second apart. Camara closing on Medling again. We saw this at the end of the last run before we had to hit pit lane. These guys were battling. Not sure if they had exactly what, or not sure if Camara had exactly what he needed to catch Sean Medling. Or, excuse me, I kind of lost my train of thought. It's not the best night up here in the booth for me.
Well, you did go hog wild on that Cuban food, and it does, give you a little bit of a gas there, Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. Yeah. Don't we have a plate of that coming up for you sometime?
Yeah, it's supposed to. We had the intern, you called the intern down to go get it, but we've had problems with the interns all season, kicking wires and everything else like that. So it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't go down there and eat it their own darn self.
Back to the action on the track now. Mike and Ronald Henry side by side here. 4-7. They're going to battle it off into turn number 1. Ooh, they got close there. Wyatt Wolf looking on right behind him. He's going to just watch this thing settle down. His iron's going to be able to clear Henry off into 1. Down the back straightaway, he's going to be able to hold it.
Well, just ahead of them, Stefan Burnell has caught up with William Roberts and Dylan Lee. He's putting pressure on Roberts right now to take the 5th spot back. And after I think he probably won't have that much of a problem with him as he's diving down in below him right now going into 1. Burnell gets
Burnell side by side here to the bottom now. Roberts able to carry that momentum though. And that was a big run on the back straightaway. He's able to hold that 5th position. Rockwell right now, though, having to deal with a little bit of lap traffic. Already had to come around Ross Cato, and now he puts Brian Terry another lap down. That car in his sights, the 84, Andy Kessler. It's about a straightaway away from him right now, so I'll see if maybe we don't get a caution or pit stop cycle back around before he gets to him. Battle for 5th still going on here. Stefan Burnell's there. And it looks like we're cycling back into pit stops now as Roberts slows and goes to the inside. Not sure if this is scheduled or if this is maybe something to do with that car after that early incident, but don't see anybody else down just yet, so we'll have to see if more people start cycling back down. 77 laps complete of 110 here. We've been green since the last major incident we had there with 4 or 5 cars being involved in the turn 1 accident. We look to pit road to see if more cars come down. 51 William Roberts was the first.
Well, Ian, I think that was a little bit more of a strategy call. We just now hit the pit window. Pit window was between 34 to 38 laps. He come down with 33 to go. So he can make it from here. I think it might be a little bit of a strategy on his part to go ahead and get in there and get that fresh, 4 fresh tires. And maybe he can run a little bit on them and make up some time, where a lot of these other guys are planning on running a few more laps and maybe only getting right sides or fuel only to make it the rest of the way. And I believe with him it's just pure strategy to try to get those get that little bit of advantage of pitting early.
We'll have to see if it plays out well for him, as right now he will sit a lap down in 12. As James Ross now hits pit road in that number 14 Powertek Power Solutions car as he falls back and loses a lap to Brockwell. So it looks like we are starting our pit cycle here as the earliest guys to pit last time, now cycling back down pit road. We're keeping an eye on that number 5 car as the 51, the 14, and the 5 all came down together last time. We'll have to see if Dylan Lee can't stretch the fuel a little bit here, maybe get a good pit stop, good in and out lap on his pit stops, and bring that thing up a little bit further, as he did gain 3 or 4 positions last time on his pit stop. So we'll see if he can't do it this time as well.
Well, Ian, I'm going back up front and taking a look. As we were talking about earlier with Medley and Cato, or Camara, it looks like Medling's actually starting to pull off a little bit from Camara longer in this run. So maybe they made some adjustments on that 73, the last pit stop, make it a little bit of a longer run car for him.
This definitely seems to be coming to him as the run goes on here. Dylan Brockwell still your leader as he's opened up a 9-second lead. And at this point, we are closing in on the final pit stop, so it's going to be the make it or break it move here. Lee going to stay out this time by, as well as Burnell and just about everybody else. So far, the only 2 takers on pit road have been Ross and Roberts. Looks like everybody else wants to get a little bit closer to that 110 mark before they go ahead and bring it down for that final pit stop. Make sure they're good on fuel. Not sure if these guys that came down early are going to have any better chance or any worse chance at it here, as They battle as they run. Roberts runs 10th. Ross runs 11th.
Well, Ian, pretty much the tires after a full fuel run, they drop off about roughly 2 seconds from fresh tires. So with them guys pitting early, yeah, they're running that 2 seconds faster lap, and all it takes is about 10 laps, and they've made up the time on Brockwell. If Brockwell just goes in and gets fuel only, which he's in pit road right now.
And we are going to have to watch Wyatt Wolf led him down, but as Wolf takes his pit stop, only takes 2 tires now, going to be right in front of Brockwell. Ooh, Brockwell had to get on the brakes hard not to run him over. Here comes Dylan Brockwell now down to his stall. What's it going to be? Is it going to be 4? Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be gas only? Hits the stall, right side goes up. 2 tires and away for Dylan Brockwell.
I think that was a little bit of an error call on the crew chief there for Wyatt Wolf. He should have known that Brockwell was coming in, and should have held him there a little bit longer, or have him drive a little bit farther through the pit stalls and come right back on the track, or come out in the pit lane like he did. That could have been disastrous for Brockwell right there, leading pretty much the whole entire race, and that could have ended his day right then and there just by a little bit of contact on pit road.
Well, if we want to talk about a little bit of contact on pit road, Dave Camaro almost just had a lot of contact with the barrels at the end of the wall. Barely got that thing slowed down, and it was heading for those barrels. It was a good thing he was able to roll that thing down and get it back under control. As now Sean Medling on pit road, Dylan Lee gonna stay out and lead a lap now as him and Stefan Burnell battle.
Well, it's a hard-fought battle for that second spot in the points. You got William Roberts in second, Niall in third, then Medling in fourth, and Lee in fifth, with coming in tonight's race. And every single bonus point helps tonight to try to get up to that second place spot, or at least third, to try to get you a prize for the season.
I'm not sure if I agree with the strategy at the moment, because you think he's looking for bonus points, sure, but he's got to be looking to pit road here, as he's just losing time on the 20 right now, and everybody else has already come down. But it looks like as he goes low down the back straightaway, he's going to pit in this time. In that 5 car down pit road, he's going to go ahead and get his tires and fuel and get back out. Stefan Burnell will inherit the lead. We look back behind Burnell, it's going to be Camara, Henry, and Arn. Still looking for Brockwell.
One thing I'm noticing, Ian, after those round of pit stops, Medling had a good second and a half lead on Camara, and now Camara is actually sitting ahead of Medling on the track.
Well, the thing I'm noticing between these two right now, I'm not sure if it's just because the other guys haven't pitted yet, but they are stuck a lap down behind Brockwell. We'll have to see if they did actually lose a lap there, or if they it's just because they're cycling through, as it sounds like a little bit of radio chatter of Burnell coming down pit road. He goes low down the back straightaway. He's going to bring it in. Mike Arn staying out. He's going to inherit the lead. Ronald Henry, Brockwell. How they run at the moment, looks like the 70 and the 75 still need to come to pit lane as we come around to get 20 laps to go.
Yeah, and while the pit stop cycle is finishing through, let's go ahead and send it to a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with the last 15 laps to go uninterrupted for you tonight. Once again, you're watching the Powertek Power Solutions Nationwide Series finale at Homestead Miami Speedway on Noble Network.
I felt it all at the hall, where it's a cool 33 degrees.
We experienced it all at the hall, where my son became the fastest man ever.
I relived it all at the hall, where my grandson asked me, "Did you really do all that?"
Experience high-octane fun during NASCAR Hall of Fame's Cure for the Common Summer, presented by Coca-Cola.
Hey race fans, it's Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99 Aflac Ford Fusion with your eye safety tip of the week. Did you know that 90% of eye injuries can be avoided simply by wearing the proper ANSI approved eyewear? More than 1 million Americans have lost some degree of sight due to eye injury. That's a risk that I'm just not willing to take. Go to wileyx.com to find a dealer near you and to learn more about the first premium performance sunglass company whose entire product line meets occupational safety standards. That's WILEYX.com. Wiley X. Safety never looks so cool.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on, automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac and never feel powerless.
Welcome back to Noble Network 1 presentation of the Powertek Power Solution Nationwide Series finale here at Homestead Miami Speedway. As we're on a commercial break, Sean Medling has caught David Camara and is battling for him after all the pit stops cycle through, which would be for second place. Ian?
Dave Camara and Sean Medling do get side by side here, and now Medling gets to the inside. He's got the run. Can he make it work? Camara holding tough on that outside line. Not quite there yet. Ooh, they got close. Camara had to check up. It's going to kill his momentum. Medling up into what will be the second spot here. Maybe not quite, actually. It's Mike. Oh, there it is. Now it's like, seriously, just waiting for him to hit the line. Didn't quite update. Your top three as they run: Ronald Henry, Dylan Brockwell, Sean Medling. We suspect Ronald Henry still has the pit. Been out there for a while. I don't see any way he can make it on fuel. Here he comes now. Check slow down the back straightaway into the inside line. Coming all the way down to that safety road, and he will relinquish the lead over to Dylan Brockwell. It'll be Brockwell, Medling, Camara, and then Dylan Lee. We'll cycle out we'll cycle back to fourth. William Roberts will round out your top five once they cycle back through. Big story for tonight, though, Dylan Brockwell out front for yet another time this season. As he will, if he is able to pull off the win tonight, or if he's able to finish, or well, actually, if he's just able to do anything at this point, he has already clinched the points championship. He is your champion for the 2013 nationwide season here. As Ronald Henry now finally brings that thing off a pit road. Medling, Camara cycle through to second and third.
And I'm sitting there watching. I'm looking at Brockwell's car. Pretty much the car is completely flawless tonight. He's been out front, clean air, avoided all the wrecks that's going on this evening, and he's done everything he had to do to win the championship this season, and he's just proving on how much of a champion he is. And he just come out here to season finale, which all he had to do was even show up, and he's just dominated this race and showing everybody the reason why he is champion this year.
And I believe as of right now, as we hit lap 100, coming around this time to take 10 to go, he, I believe so far tonight, he has only not led, other than when we were cycling through pit stops, I believe he only missed leading one lap while we were actually racing. Pit stop cycles aside, Other than that, though, it has been all Brockwell. You cannot take that away from him. He has dominated this race tonight as he sits with a 16-second lead over Medling as we come around with 10 laps to go. Medling sits second now, opening the gap to Camara, who sits third, has been running right around that spot all night after that accident happened early in the race that took out a lot of good cars. Ben Nile, Jay Adair, Brian Terry all involved in that. As we are going to look forward here, bring you back to the leader as we are going to do the final Sam Bass Gallery's top 5 of the season here. Dylan Brockwell, your leader, your points champion for this season here as we're rounding it out. Sean Medling looks running second here. He had a very good season this season, and will come home with a high spot in the points. Camara, number 72, he sits third, also a good season for him. Dylan Lee sitting in fourth, and rounding out your top 5, Ronald Henry, able to stay out longer on that pit strategy and was able to pull it off to at least hold the top 5 for now, but it looks like William Roberts and James Ross battling behind him might be able to hold on to that top 5. As we look here at our battle, back at our leader as he closes in on that number 70, Mike Arndt, to put him another lap down. I'm sorry, Arndt just passed. Yes, Arndt did just pass Brockwell actually to get his lap back, and I believe Brockwell's just going to let him go with a 17-second lead and gaining. There's no point in fighting with anybody right now. Just especially a lap down car.
Well, Ian, liking the keys of the race, like we said, words of wisdom for Dylan Brockwell. Just sit back and enjoy the ride and have fun during the race, and that's what he's pretty much done. He hasn't had no real battles at all tonight. He's just set sail and just been out there riding all night long. I guarantee you right now, there's the biggest grin on his face that he's ever had. Because he knows he's got the championship locked up now.
With the championship locked up and nothing but lap cars in front of him and nothing in the mirror at all. Maybe a couple of tiny specks when he goes off into the corner. We'll come off of turn number 4 this time. Brockwell will come back to the line. Final 5 laps of the season underway as Brockwell hits the line this time. If he can tick these off clean, he'll take the victory tonight, the points championship, and wrap it all up in one happy little bundle for himself.
Well, Ian, I'm sitting here watching Brockwell. We were talking just a few minutes ago about Ross and Williams all battling. Brockwell is actually now caught up to the back of them. I doubt he'll do anything to try to pass them. He'll probably just sit back and ride. But that's got to start worrying him a little bit with them guys battling like they are right there in front of him. If something should happen to one of them and they wreck something like that, him possibly getting caught up with it and taking away the win tonight that he just completely dominated this race with.
Well, I think at the moment you'll see him keeping a good distance between these guys as they go side by side. Notice the tail a couple cars deep there. He's keeping a good distance. He's giving himself plenty of braking room if he needs it to get make sure he doesn't get caught up in anything with these guys here. He'll come off the corner. He comes off this corner now across the line. Lap 109 of 110. 2 laps for Dylan Brockwell to close out the season with a win, one that he has dominated. Just a dominant season. I can't, we couldn't quite piece it together. We know we won just about every race off of this final corner now. Gonna be right on the back bumper of Brunel. Not sure if that's the right move, but 110 of 110. White flag in the air. Brockwell 4 more corners to cap off his championship season here, and an amazing one at that. Down the back straightaway this time. He is
Henry it looks like Henry's out of gas. He stayed out longer than anybody else. Looked like he might have just got a splash of fuel, but he looks like he's out of gas going down the backstretch.
Low on the inside of 3 and 4, but off at turn number 4. Brockwell right behind the 79, gonna push into the line. Dylan Brockwell wins it at Homestead. He'll take home the race and the championship.
That's one fitting way for Brockwell to finish out this race, bringing it home with the win and doing it in championship fashion. You know, come out with pretty much had the championship locked in coming into the race, but came out and just dominated this race like a true champion. And now we get to see him just burn the tires off this car. Just got word from his crew chief. His crew chief said this last race of the season, burn him down till you blow that motor. So we're going to go silent and let you enjoy watching Brockwell do some tremendous burnouts this year, which is your nationwide champion. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your season finale here at Noble Network 1 for the Powertek Power Solutions Nationwide Series. Your winner tonight, Dylan Brockwell, coming home second with Sean Medling, and third was David Camara. I think Ian Adams has made his way down there and has caught up with David Camara. Ian?
Yeah, Carl, I'm down here on pit road. David Camara, a strong third place finish tonight, all night. You and Sean Medling were going at it there, and it looked like on that final pit stop you got him on pit road, but he was able to run you back down and get by. What was the was there an issue there at the end of it, or was it just strategy, or did Medling just have the stronger car?
He just had a stronger car. You know, clocksbychristopher.com Chevrolet was strong, but wasn't strong enough. I got in front of him, and I saw him in my rearview mirror. I don't know why, but I beat him off at pit road, and crew did a good job, and I figured I had him, and you know, he took a lap and a half, I think it was, there for him to get by me. But overall, good race. Finish out the season the way I started. I got a third, I think, the first race, and it was the first race I ran anyway, and then the middle of the season was just horrible. So look forward to next year.
And it was, we did see a start up front a lot this year, not too many finishes up there, but it was a good run throughout the season. As we look back here, finishing out the season tonight, keys to the season you had, or anything that you would have changed if you could have?
Yeah, better finishes. But I mean, overall, I mean, I got caught up in some stuff, and some stuff was my fault, and you know, it was just one race after another, problem. So, I mean, there isn't a whole lot that I would have done different, or you can do different. We'll see how next season goes. I want to thank all the guys that put Noble on, Dave Washington, and everybody else. They run a good league here, and they do a lot of work for it.
And even it'll be good to see you back on the track next season. Anybody you'd like to thank for the season you did have and the third place finish tonight?
Just clocksbychristopher.com is my sponsor, and like I said, all the guys that run Noble.
Okay, thank you, David. And as I believe, Carl, you've made your way down there. You've caught up with Sean Medling?
Indeed, I have, Ian. I have caught up with your second place finisher tonight, driver of the 73 No One Breast Cancer Awareness car, Sean Medling. Sean, good race tonight. Proud home second.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. That was a fun race. Got a couple cautions there earlier, but managed to have some good green flag runs there toward the end. I was just kind of saving my stuff and just trying to bring it home in a good finish. And looks like we accomplished that for the Noble Network 1 car.
Well, right there at the end, you had Brockwell. He was just pulling off and leaving everybody. Was you saving your car and saved a little too long to try to run him back down, or did you have anything for Brockwell at all tonight?
I was trying to save my stuff a little bit for later run, but Dylan's just too fast. I was talking with him down there in the staging room. He's got it all figured out. He's fast, and then he's also got Dave there on the pit box giving his instructions. So that's probably part of the equation in there where he's just too fast. All season long I couldn't catch him, but he's fast.
Well, coming in tonight's race, you were sitting fourth in the points. Not quite sure how the points completely shaped out, but you come home second tonight. 2 weeks in a row, you actually finished behind Brockwell. But the guy you were chasing for third in the points, Ben Nile, had a rough night tonight, and we'll have to see on how all the points shake out. But overall, you had a pretty good year this year. Give us perspective of your year.
Yeah, thanks. In fact, me and Ben were talking before the race, doing what we all had to do as far as championship was concerned. And I think I accomplished what I needed to pass him, but we'll see in the final standings. But yeah, season was pretty good. Started out slow, had a couple problems. Some of it's my fault, some of it not. But got it going there mid-season. Started racking up the top 10s, top 5s, to second place finishes. End out the year. I can't ask for anything more. I'm pretty happy with it. Hope I make my team owner pretty happy about it too.
I imagine Andy's smiling pretty big, especially seeing that Noble Network 1 car up front. I know I was smiling pretty good for having you out there representing us this year. Anybody you'd like to thank for your season this year and bringing it home second place again 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, definitely. I thank, of course, Noble Motorsports for putting this league on. Powertek Power Solutions. Of course, Noble Network 1 for allowing me to run your colors on here. I hope I did you guys proud. Wiley X Sunglasses, NASCAR Hall of Fame. A lot of people to thank. I'm just trying to remember them all. Sorry if I miss anybody.
Well, that's no problem, Sean. One heck of a race tonight, one heck of a season, and we were proud you carried our colors this year. But I think Ian Adams has actually caught up with your Powertek's Power Solution Nationwide champion for this year in Victory Lane, Dylan Brockwell. Ian?
Yes, I am down here in with a very ecstatic Dylan Brockwell, as he is your points champion for this season. Dylan, You came in here, you had the points locked down, you just had to start. Instead, you come out here, lead a good majority of the race, completely dominate this thing, and bring her home with a 17-second lead for your victory tonight over Sean Medling. It seemed like the second half of the season, and even towards the start of it, once you got out front, there was nobody that could stop you.
Yeah, all that was Dave Washington telling me to save my stuff, not let me get too over my head to where I had something, on the long run, and didn't seem like anybody else was doing the same thing. And I just can't thank Dave enough for this. All of these wins, this championship is all because of him. He helped me out tremendously, and I just can't thank him enough.
Well, it seemed like this race tonight, if we needed one, was kind of a microcosm of your season. Started out a little bit rough with a couple issues, and you fell back to second there for a little bit, but then after that you just got out front and dominated, and that's about how it was all season. A couple of rocky finishes in the first couple of races, and then it seemed like through the mid part of the season and on, you had just gotten out there and dominated all these races. I think you had 6 or 7 wins this season, so it wasn't that hard to rack up a points championship.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, all of our rocky races were up front, where Dave was still trying to get me settled down, and once he did, it seemed like we were unstoppable. Just goes to show you that it was a big part of it was him.
Well, Dylan, I spoke with you at the beginning of the race, and you seemed pretty confident about coming in here tonight. And one of the keys that we had to the race tonight was just for you to sit back, ride, and enjoy the race. How big of when did it really occur to you that you won the championship, and how long were you sitting there driving with a big smile on your face?
I drive with a big smile on my face all the time. Even though it's a very competitive game, I still have fun. I mean, if we're not having fun, there's no point in being on here. You're a waste of time. But the fact here tonight and just ride and know that it didn't really matter where we finish, that showed in the results. Because if I would have came in here where I had to finish a certain position, I would have been a little more nervous, and it would have showed. So I'm just fortunate to have such a good season where I come in tonight and it doesn't really matter where I finish.
Well, Dylan, as we look at it here, rounding out the season tonight with you taking home the points championship, incredible season. You dominated a ton of races. You dominated tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank for this season? Just you got it. Go for anybody you want to thank.
Number one is Dave Washington for being my, I would say, mentor, and crew chief for working out those fuel mileage races, keeping me calm. I got to thank Sam Bass Galleries for letting us run his logo on the car and sponsoring our team. We're having a great season with him, and I'm really, really proud to carry his name. All of you guys in the broadcast booth, this is so awesome that you could go back and show, people you work with and your family and all that, what you do on Monday nights and Tuesday nights, and y'all do such a great job. It's so realistic. I also got to thank James Ross with Powertek Power Solutions for sponsoring our season. Without the sponsors, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to do all this cool stuff that we do. And Noble as a whole for being such a great group of guys that we race against week in and week out and don't have any problems with. This is awesome.
There you have it, Dylan Brockwell, your 2013 Powertek Power Solutions Nationwide Series champion. He brought home the championship tonight with another dominating win over the rest of these guys out here tonight. Carl, just yet another race where Carl, I believe you caught up with somebody else here?
Yeah, and I've actually caught up with the series admin, Mr. Dave Washington. The whole reason why Brockwell was able to win the championship tonight. Dave, just how would you grade the season overall so far in the Nationwide Series this year?
Oh, I had a blast watching it. There wasn't too many things that went wrong this season. Pretty much kept my eye on everybody and kind of halfway point in the season. Was up to William, Sean, and Dylan there to see who was going to take the championship.
Well, this year or this season here, you pretty much sat back and watched and everything else. But there's been some rumors going around that we may see you back in a nationwide car next season.
Yeah, I think I'm going to dust it off and bring it out and run some races. I'm not sure if I'm going to run the whole season, but I might do a few.
Well, since you're coming back nationwide season, I imagine that Mr. Brockwell, he's probably going to go ahead and jump up to the Cup Series and start battling you for the championship up there. Hopefully we get some good battles there. But Dave, just wanted to thank you for coming by and doing a quick interview with us tonight. And just to let you know, we enjoyed broadcasting these races up in the booth, and y'all did one heck of a job officiating this year.
Yeah, like I said, it was a fun season. I'm glad I was able to get Dylan this championship. He did all the hard work. I just kept him calm. Next season's going to be a little tougher because I got to drive, and trying to do both, help him and drive, is going to be a little difficult, but I think we'll get it done.
All right. Thanks for stopping by, Dave. And I think, Ian, we got the results to go over with tonight.
Yeah, for the 10th race of the season and our last one here in the Powertek Power Solution Nationwide Series this season, Dylan Brockwell finishing out with the points championship will bring home yet another win in that number 20 Sam Bass car. Sean Medling comes home second in the Noble Network 1 Chevrolet, followed by Dave Camara in third. Dylan Lee recording his best finish of the season there in fourth. James Ross in fifth, our series sponsor, the Powertek Power Solutions car.
Yeah, Mike Arn, he brought it, the 70 Army car home sixth, followed by your second place finisher in the points, William Roberts. He brought it home seventh in the 51 NASCAR Hall of Fame car. Eighth was the 79 of Stephen Burnell. Ninth was the 75 of Ronald Henry. And 10th was Ross Cato.
Bringing it home 11th in the Noble Network 1 Noble Radio Breast Cancer Awareness Chevrolet, Andy Kessler. Wyatt Wolf finishes 12th, Brian Terry 13th, Ben Nile 14th, and Jay Adair rounded out the field in 15th. A couple of those guys did not finish. And Carl, as we're looking to put a wrap on the season here, it's been a good one. A lot of good racing. A lot of good action. Seemed like early in the season we were going to see a lot of cautions, but through mid-season and on, these guys settled down. We got a lot of good green flag runs in there near the end, and just a really great season.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed myself this season watching these guys out here running. A lot of exciting races, all the way from the big crash we had at Iowa and Kansas, all the way up till the season finale tonight. Really looking forward to the next season, as I'm actually stepping out of the broadcast booth here, and I'm actually going to be going full-time broadcaster over for the Cup Series. But I come home sixth in the Truck Series last season, and I think I'm actually going to try my hand in the Nationwide cars next year. And so this will be my last broadcast for the Nationwide Series for Noble Network 1, because I'll actually be in the races.
Well, Carl, as you say that, I believe I'll be stepping aside completely here. I need to take a little bit of a break from this stuff. Just some stuff I got to sort out. But for as we look at it, hopefully, if they do have a crew for Nationwide, they at least are able to do as well as we did here this season, or I hope even better, actually, because I'm sure there were some things we could have improved on. As we round the season out here, I believe we just a couple guys we want to thank real quick.
Yeah, most definitely we need to thank the guys who also came in the booth and helped us out this year. We had Trevor Smith. He was here and there throughout the year helping us in the booth. At the very beginning of the season, we had Matt Weisborough. He stepped in a lot and worked in the booth with you quite a bit, along with Ben Kilcrease. And we even had at Martinsville, our boss, Andy Kessler, come in the booth. So we want to thank everybody that helped put on these nationwide broadcasts this year. Without all of them, it was just pretty much impossible for me and Ian to do it ourselves. Want to thank all of them. Also want to thank Rick Donovan for doing a couple of the videos that we play for y'all at the very beginning and then at the shows. And also want to thank Denise Hutchinson, which is the one who now sings the national anthem for Noble Network One, and just want to thank everybody who helps put this together. And I want to thank you too, Ian. It was a blast being doing these races with you, and I hate to see it come to a close, but I also like to look ahead to the future.
And Carl, I couldn't have done it without you because, well, if you weren't here, we wouldn't have seen anything. I'm pretty sure I'm not a good radio commentator. I'm pretty good with the video, I like to think, but radio not so much. But as we look to close the season out here, it looks like we're going to bring this broadcast to an end for everybody here at Noble Network One, as well as all of our sponsors here at Noble Motorsports, Wiley X, R-Seat, Sam Bass Galleries, the Powertek Power Solutions guys, everybody that puts up the things necessary for us to get this stuff out to you and show you these kind of show you the racing that we showed this season. For everybody that helped us out, as Carl said, Matt, Ben, Trevor, Carl, because with Andy, who came up here a couple times in the booth, any of the guys that were racing that decided to come up here and be in-race reporters during the season, or that just were willing to come up and give an interview under caution or whatever. I'd like to thank everybody, and just like to thank all these guys that ran this season to putting on such a great show for us to call, because without them racing, we wouldn't have anything to show you or call for you. So as we round the season out here, that's going to be about it here from Homestead Miami Speedway. We'd like to once again congratulate Dylan Brockwell, for his win tonight and his championship run and win overall here in the Powertek Power Solutions Nationwide Series. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, because without you, we wouldn't have a reason to be here either. So, for Carl Brown in the production booth and in the booth with me tonight, I am Ian Adams. This has been a Noble Network One presentation of the Powertek Power Solutions Nationwide Series. We will see you when we see you. Good night.